Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's September 3rd, 2016. The big news this morning in the NFL is the Minnesota Vikings have traded for Sam Bradford from the Philadelphia Eagles. Sam Bradford played his college ball in Oklahoma with Adrian Peterson, the star running back of the Vikings. What's really interesting about this trade coming today is Oklahoma, the college team, is opening their college season against Houston, who's set to host Super Bowl 51 at the end of this season. Since February of this year, I've been writing about how the Super Bowl upcoming will likely be the New York Giants and the Colts. After the death of Prince, and especially after the death of Denny Green, I wrote more and more about how I could be wrong about Colts and Giants. It might be Colts and Vikings. And a lot of people are saying with the injury of Bridgewater, the Vikings have no chance. But all the people saying this are people who don't know the history of the NFL. Just in recent times, we've seen teams lose their quarterback, a new quarterback come in and take them to the Super Bowl, from Kurt Warner to Tom Brady and more. Sam Bradford in college at Oklahoma was a golden boy. His NFL career has been disappointing because he can't stay healthy. That said, he's still young in his NFL career. This will be his 7th year in the NFL, but only his 6th season because he missed an entire season with a fake injury, which we'll revisit. There's a parallel to that fake injury and Teddy Bridgewater's fake injury. In case you missed the first 2 videos I put out on the buildup of this narrative, I showed how Teddy Bridgewater's injury was faked, a tribute to the new U.S. Bank Stadium, as well as the state of Minnesota. And I put out a second video showing how it was a direct tribute to Sean Hill, Teddy Bridgewater's backup. And the first video I put out, you NFL fans, if you're really coming here and thumbsing this down and trolling and mocking, you need to realize who you're talking to. My work is unprecedented. What I am doing, exposing how pro sports are scripted, it's not even a question anymore. My work is proven. This is science. I'm showing you how your league is rigged. If you can't accept it, you don't need to attack me. What you need to do is look in the mirror and recognize that you're not a big enough man for the truth. And you're too little to admit that you've been fooled your entire life by these fake professional sports. As a child, as a 7-year-old child, I could see that pro sports were rigged. And where it was first obvious to me was the NBA. I grew up in Portland, Oregon. The only pro team we had were the Trailblazers. It was very obvious when we played teams such as the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan, how the refs would call the game for the superstar. It's just so plain obvious. And fans just shrug their shoulders at those things and go, well, superstars get special treatment. Why is that? The fans are just so used to going along with the bullshit and going along with the lies. We live in a world of lies and people who believe lies and get angry at those who don't. I'm someone who doesn't fall for lies. I have intelligence, I have my own mind, I have eyes to see, something very few people in this land have. And when I was young, a child, a teenager, a young adult, a lot of older people constantly told me that I was special because I had the eyes to see things for what they were. And when I was younger, I didn't appreciate that. I had to grow up and realize just how blind my fellow man was. Everybody who watches pro sports and can't see that they're rigged is completely blind. If you're one of those people, I'm trying to help remove the wool from your eyes. So now let's talk about what else is up with this acquisition today. September 3rd, 9/3 as we write in the U.S., a lot like 93, a big number in Minneapolis where the Vikings play. Minneapolis is on the 93rd meridian. Minneapolis, Minnesota in gematria sums to 93. Again, today's 9/3. Minnesota Vikings in gematria sums to 93. 93 is a special number to the Zionist Jews, to the Freemasons. 93 represents Saturn, the keeper of time. Think about the sun in this world, which is the real keeper of time. Science tells us that the sun is 93 million miles away, which, you know what, is complete bullshit. The sun is not 93 million miles away. It's a Masonic lie because we live in a world that is truly owned and operated by Freemasons. government, media, pro sports, Hollywood, record studios. This gang, international in scope, thousands of years old, has built this world around us. They pride themselves on being the keepers of knowledge, the invisible architects of society. And with regards to pro sports, that is one of the most key things in this world that controls the manpower of this world. And the manpower of this world is the only threat to this gang, but this gang owns the manpower. They have them wrapped around their finger. Just look at all the grown men who pitch a fit when somebody comes along and shows them how rigged their sports is. For those of you who ask questions such as, why would an athlete fake an injury? Again, it's a really dumb question. These people are paid $20 million a year. You at your $30,000 a year salary, you'll have to work almost 1,000 years, truly, to make that kind of money. These people make that money in 1 year. Why? Because they're puppet sellouts that work for this gang that controls world banking, controls money, and uses these athletes as pawns to control the mind's eye of the masses. Think about how many children are focusing on becoming great athletes so they can be a professional athlete someday, having no idea that they have no chance of being a pro athlete no matter how good they are because they're not born into these Masonic networks. The people in pro sports are born into it, almost every last one of them. So let's move on. We established the 93 on the date Oklahoma plays Houston, who's hosting the Super Bowl at the end of the year. Sam Bradford, former teammate of Adrian Peterson, who's from Houston. Sam Bradford, born November 8th, 1987. We'll talk about why that's interesting in regards to the Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz, who was drafted with their first pick, the Eagles, this year. The names Sam Bradford in Gematria sums to 47 and 56. They're also reporting that there was a 5.6 earthquake in Oklahoma today that shook 6 states around it. They're saying it was a 5.6. News, Oklahoma, Sam Bradford. I've said this before, Truth Seeker. The powers that be seem to stage earthquakes in tributes to major sports events. Go see the day of the Floyd Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. There was a rare earthquake in Floyd Mayweather's hometown. The powers that be, the Freemasons, again, they've built this world around us. They control technology. They control science. These people are insane. They do everything by the numbers. I just talked about how the earthquake in Italy had all these numbers pointing back to the United States. Is today's earthquake on September 3rd it? Hard to say. These people are insane, but what I'm trying to tell you is I don't think this is a coincidence. It could be, but I don't think so. Sam Bradford, his birth numerology, he has a life lesson number of 44. This year, the Super Bowl's on a date with 44 numerology. In the movie Oblivion, it's hinted that Super Bowl in 2017 will be the last Super Bowl ever played. Oblivion equals 44 in Gematria, matching the date numerology of the upcoming Super Bowl. Adrian Peterson's birthday is also 44 days after the Super Bowl this year. He's also born on a date with prophecy numerology. We'll be talking more about the prophecy tribute. Also interesting, from today, September 3rd, to his upcoming birthday is 66 days. NFL in Jewish Gematria equals 66. The first Super Bowl was in the 47th season of the NFL at the end of the 66-67 season. Notice it's also 9 weeks and 3 days to his birthday, a lot like 93. And with regards to 93, again, Saturn equals 93. Saturn's the keeper of time. The name Sam Bradford has Gematria 47 and 56. We talked about the earthquake. Minnesota has Gematria of 38 and 47. And the word time equals 47. Saturn, the keeper of time, this trade by the numbers of Saturn. Again, the first Super Bowl in the 47th season of the league, time equals 47. I live up here in Seattle. We're on the 47th parallel. The landmark up here, the Space Needle, it has a rotating restaurant that does a full rotation every 47 minutes on the 47th parallel, the number for time. Sam Bradford, he's going to turn 29 years old, still a young man. Football the small way equals 29, 66 days before his 29th birthday. here's Sam Bradford's career. He was drafted number 1 overall by the St. Louis Rams. The Minnesota Vikings just finished their preseason against the Rams, who moved to Los Angeles this year. We'll talk about that. He played his first 4 seasons with the Rams. He was injured in the preseason in 2014, missed the entire season, and then joined the Eagles in 2015. And in 2014, he faked his injury, something I talked about then. The NFL has a history of faking injuries. Last year, Peyton Manning was supposedly injured after his 322nd pass, 322. If you don't know that number, look it up. Andrew Luck last year, he missed his first professional football game on a date with 13 numerology. Think about Luck, 13. That game, Matt Hasselbeck was the quarterback. It went to overtime, 13-13. Luck ended up finishing his season with 55 games played, and that's no coincidence. 55 was the big number for the Broncos last year, which I was talking about. Andrew Luck, listen to this. Andrew Luck was drafted number 1 overall out of Stanford by the Colts, which caused Peyton Manning to go to the Broncos. Think about Colts, Broncos, horses. A colt in horse racing is only a colt for 4 years. Its 5th year, it graduates. Andrew Luck is in his 5th year with 55 games played. Anyway, Andrew Luck being drafted out of Stanford, number 1 overall, sent Manning to play for the Broncos under John Elway. John Elway in history was drafted number 1 overall out of Stanford by the Colts, then traded to the Broncos. When Elway was young, he lost in Super Bowl 24 to the 49ers, 55-10. Last year, the Broncos were 55 years old, Elway was 55 years old, and they defeated the Panthers in Super Bowl 50 in the 49ers stadium, who beat the Broncos in Super Bowl 24, 55-10. So when Elway and her Broncos are 55 years old, they return to San Francisco and win a Super Bowl with the score 24-10. They lost in Super Bowl 24, 55-10. If you write out 24 as a word, if you write out San Francisco as a word, they both sum to 50. The Broncos win Super Bowl 50 in San Francisco with 24 points after losing Super Bowl 24. Again, the entire NFL is scripted by the numbers. You learn to read the numbers. You see what's going on in the league. All tributes, all family. Oliver Luck, the father of Andrew Luck, played his entire career in Houston, where Andrew Luck played his high school ball. Oliver Luck, the small way, equals 47. All Luck, the big way, equals 47. So Oliver Luck, 47. Luck, 47. This year's Super Bowl 51 will be the 47th Super Bowl of the modern era. So check this out. Sam Bradford, his last game as a Ram was August 23rd, 2014 in Cleveland, Ohio. Ohio, the birthplace of football. Look at this. The Rams won the game 33-14, but Bradford was injured, missing the entire season supposedly. His Achilles was torn. Achilles in gematria sums to 33, just like the amount of points the St. Louis Rams won with, just like the name Sam. And I also want to point out that they were in Cleveland, the only city that sums to 33. All this 33, Achilles 33, Cleveland 33, Sam 33, 33 points. The score was also 33-14, a total of 47 points. Ohio 47, Sam Bradford 47, with the S exception 56. Ohio, the birthplace of football, the first Super Bowl and the 47th Super Bowl of the league. This year, upcoming the 47th Super Bowl of the modern era, also Super Bowl 51. The date Sam Bradford was injured was a date with 38 numerology. Remember, Teddy Bridgewater was just injured 38 days after Fan Day at the new U.S. Bank Stadium. U.S. Bank Stadium equals 38. Minnesota equals 38. This is a number that has to do with tragedy. When you lose your quarterback for the season, it's a tragedy in football. It's no coincidence that Teddy Bridgewater, who's out with the fake injury, is now being replaced by Sam Bradford, who previously faked his injury. You NFL fans who get so irate and can't handle it, it's time to graduate from being a child and to become an adult. Adults in this world, they've been raised to behave like idiots. Drink and eat food that's toxic for you. Guzzle alcohol, which kills you. Watch sports games, watch other men play sports. Why don't you get your fat ass off your couch and go exercise and play some sports in your community. Fill up your park that's vacant. Do something for your body, for your heart, instead of watching some other grown man that you worship. It's pathetic. Sam Bradford, also the number 1 overall pick of the 2010 NFL draft. That was the 75th annual draft. Minnesota Vikings, without the S exception, sums to 75. Indianapolis Colts is the same way. 75 without the S exceptions, 93 with the S exceptions. So check this out. Final game for the preseason for the Vikings before they even got Bradford was against the Rams, who drafted Bradford. The score, a sum of 52 points. The game was in Minnesota. The new Vikings Stadium will be hosting Super Bowl 52. And I'm telling you, there's a narrative here that the Vikings could be the first team to play in their home stadium. A lot of people say it'll never happen because it kills travel and income and revenue. That's an argument, but at some point it has to happen, right? At some point, the Super Bowl has to host their own home team. And it could be Minnesota, who's on a long drought. Prophecy equals 52. Again, Sam Bradford has the prophecy birth numerology. Los Angeles Rams equals 52. So does California. The game in the preseason week 4 that was between 2 California teams, San Diego and San Francisco, also ended in 52 points. The league is scripted to the point. I can't emphasize it enough. Same thing with when Bradford got injured. Same thing in every single Super Bowl. Same thing in every single game, every single week. They even rigged the preseason games. The first game for the Los Angeles Rams, after returning to Los Angeles, summed to 52 points. No coincidence. All part of the script. See my video on it. The guy who scored the first touchdown has connections to the city of Los Angeles. With regards to the Vikings, I also want to remind you, Danny Green died July 21st, 2016, the evening before they opened the new U.S. Bank Stadium. U.S. Bank Stadium, the big way equals 155, the small way 38. Danny Green died 155 days after his 67th birthday. Blood sacrifice equals 67. Died the night before U.S. Bank Stadium. He also died 52 days before the opener, September 11th in Tennessee. And what does Tennessee equal? Yes, 52. Again, Minnesota, the new stadium hosting Super Bowl 52. Danny Green dead the night before it opened. It's murder by numbers. And as I continue to say also, college football is rigged just like pro football. Go watch my video on how I guaranteed Alabama would win the college championship and what it had to do with the upcoming Super Bowl and the Broncos winning. All things I said that all came true. This picture with Oklahoma has Clemson in the background. Clemson, who lost in the championship last year. It's no coincidence that Oakland is playing Houston today. Or did I say Oakland? I mean Oklahoma. That Oklahoma's playing Houston. Again, Bradford and Peterson played at Oklahoma. Houston hosting the upcoming Super Bowl. Minnesota could still end up there. I don't want them to. I want the Giants. But, as I continue to say, it could be either way. The Super Bowl's on February 5th, a date that can be written 5/2, a lot like 52 this year. Date with 44 numerology. Again, the movie Oblivion. Oblivion equals 44. 2017, supposedly supposed to be the last Super Bowl in that movie. Look at this. Houston Texans equals 51. So does Houston Astros, the baseball team. And so does Conspiracy. They're hosting upcoming Super Bowl 51. Houston alone in simple English gematria sums to 112. It will be the 112th World Series this year. The Astros could make it. If not the Astros, I bet you it'll be the Texas Rangers. Their manager from Houston, currently 52 years old. Texas Rangers equals 52. The manager's name equals 52. Got to follow those prophecy numbers. Also, Carson Wentz from Bismarck, North Dakota, not too far from Minnesota. He's going to be the future quarterback of the Eagles. This move of Bradford secures his position as the eventual starter. From today until Carson Wentz's upcoming birthday is a span of 119 days, the number for all-seeing eyes, Star of David, master plan, important numbers to the Masons and Zionists. If you don't count the end dates, it's also 118 days. Sam Bradford's born on November 8th. The Nike phrase, just do it, equals 118. Think about Nike, the NFL, uniforms, power, Saturn. Nike equals 39. Their symbol is a ring of Saturn. The swoosh is a ring of Saturn. Saturn 93, Nike 39. Nike, just like the NFL, run by this same gang of Masons, Zionists, by the numbers. That's why Nike's in the 33rd state, Oregon. Down in the video, I'm going to link these 2 videos on Teddy Bridgewater. This video needs some more thumbs up. 582 thumbs down and 156 thumbs up. It's tragic because this is the truth. Growing men need to grow up. My channel's here to help them grow up. Also, watch the video on what this had to do with Shaun Hill. It's absolutely comical. If you're like me, you probably wonder why Shaun Hill's even in the NFL. He can hardly throw a football, has a noodle arm, throws wobblers, has no distance. What's he doing out there, truth seeker? The reason he's out there is because he's born into it. He's a pawn stooge, just like the rest of these pro athletes. Some a lot better than others, but all of them born into it. They're all sellouts. They're all people we should despise, not worship and celebrate. If you're somebody out there who owns an NFL jersey and wears one of these people's number and name on your back, it's pathetic. These people don't give a fuck about you. These people are selfish. They're liars. They're participating in rigged sports, overpriced sports, stealing your time, your energy, your money. And so many of you can't see why. Because you can't do math. Divide 20 million by 30,000, then get back to me. Until next time.